So here it is, one of the new big rigs. This one's the 105R. It's slightly newer than the other one. Not quite as fancy. It doesn't have the front suspension, but it's still an IVT. This one's a 40 km/h transmission. The other one's a 50. So the other one obviously is a little quicker on the road. However, I put this one here because, I mean, the route it's on is pretty tight, so it doesn't even spend that much time on the road, so it's not like it matters. But the 51 is on a much less tight route over in London, so it could use the extra road speed, so that's why I put that one there. So for those of you that have never run an IVT, I'm just going to run you through the way that I have this transmission set up, because there's about 10 different ways you could run these tractors. I know Jim in Ottawa, he runs them a way that is pretty unique. He actually runs them so that your foot throttle is how you control where you put the snow, essentially. So his guys will run the speed of the tractor off of this little joystick here, and then use the foot throttle to rev the tractor up, and with more RPM, obviously the farther the snow goes. And they don't actually even play with their top chute deflector at all. They mostly control how far the snow goes just with the throttle. I found with this thing, my preferred method, probably just because I'm used to the little hydrostatic tractors, is simply to use the economy PTO, where it'll rev up to, I believe it's only 1600 RPM at full 540 RPO, and as it needs more power, it'll just rev the engine up. So essentially what you do is, when you come into a driveway, you turn your PTO on and you just rev it all the way out. And it actually won't rev out. It'll just go to, like I said, 1600 RPM, or which is essentially the minimum that it needs to keep that PTO speed. And then the way you actually drive the tractor is with the foot throttle. So the foot throttle is your speed. So you control the tractor by basically like a hydrostatic. You use your foot pedal. You don't need to touch the brakes much. You can if you need to. And then your forward and reverse is just on the collar here, rather than having two pedals like a hydrostatic would. So super slick operation. I'm getting really good at it. We had a couple storms where I was back up in this thing, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. So I'm super impressed with this thing. And let's take it for a little rip here, but this one's a 14, so the computer's not the newest edition, but it's got all kinds of settings. Like, here is how you control your chute. So your remotes are just these little switches here, which is pretty sweet. You can control how fast or slow they go. This here is, it's a way you can control your speed. So how I've been running it is basically max speed is your second gear there. The scroll wheel just sets your top speed all the way forward, of course, full throttle. In a driveway, it's nice, you can throw it back to sort of your in driveway speed, and then so you pull up to the driveway, pull back, PTO on, and you're rocking. So super slick operation. And why don't we take this thing for a quick little spin around the block and show you in action what it's like. So we got the blower up, so let's shove her all the way forward, all the way to 40. So here right now, we're neutral. You got your park, neutral, forward and reverse, and this is obviously your shifter. So we're rolling forward, and like I said, foot throttle is controlling our speed. Take it for a little spin down the street here. Now, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to add more weight to the front of these units. The 100-inch blowers actually weigh about 2,200 pounds, so they are quite heavy. I have these front tires loaded, but I'm not totally sure if it's quite enough yet, to be honest. We don't have any major power hop at all, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah, right now on this one, it's feeling pretty good, actually. just when you get that ice and whatnot, you want to make sure you have some decent weight on the front end so you're not losing control. I found with the other one, the steering was a little bit on the light side, which I wasn't super comfortable with. So if we say this is our driveway here, pull up to our driveway, you can use the brake if you want, check behind us. Like I said, I would personally slap it down into here, grab our throttle there, sorry, not our throttle, our shifter, whatever the heck we call that thing, back up to our garage door. Sorry, this is gonna be terrible camera, whatever, film quality, because I'm doing it all in one hand. But you would drop the blower, and obviously not backing up because I only have one hand, but simultaneously as you're backing up, you drop the blower to the driveway, PTO on, blah blah blah, play with your chute, blah blah blah, full throttle. Well, full throttle being only that 1600 RPM I was telling you about with the economy mode. So we're always saving fuel, saving the environment, you know how it goes. And then we're off to the next one. Full speed ahead. Another nice thing with these things is full speed on the road, you're only 2,000 RPM at most. Even with the 50K, it's the same deal. Compared to the little tractors where you're always screaming at 2,600, which gets a bit annoying just from a noise perspective. And obviously you're burning fuel that you don't need to, so. And it's extra wear and tear. So that's kind of nice. And pull up. See if we can do this one-handed. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Good enough. Drop the blower, and we will call it a day. So that's a little overview of the IVT and the John Deere 6R series for you. I'm sure we'll get a more comprehensive video once we have a little bit more snow. But for now, that's a little overview. If any of you are interested in these tractors, I would highly recommend them. And watch out for some more content. Join the Facebook group if you haven't yet, United Snow Pros. I'll let you in if you're cool, and we'll talk to you in there. See ya.